We generally think that technology makes things easier, better, more convenient. We've got cameras, phones, flat-screen 4K TVs, tablets and smartwatches.
Hell, this movie is only possible because technology has gotten so much better. I don't have access to a helicopter. I'm not filming on an old film camera.
But when it comes to cars, petrolheads seem to have a problem with state-of-the-art technology.
Ask any car enthusiast what they think about electric vehicles and Teslas in particular, and they will start throwing panicked glances around and start muttering something about range anxiety and electric cars having no soul.
And it is true that a lot of what we think makes a car's character and personality comes down to the sound it makes.
And here, well, there just isn't that much to talk about. This very well could be one of the quietest places I've ever been. I bet John Krasinski and Emily Blunt wish they had one of these at the end of the world.
That's not to say that noise issues are completely absent, though.
Tesla seems to have gone to great lengths to make this place very quiet and very relaxing, only to tell the computer to beep at you every 3 seconds for one reason or another. Beep, there's a car to your left. Beep, there isn't a car to your left anymore. Beep, a cyclist is trying to cross the road over there. Beep, you are still on the fastest route. There seems to be a slightly different beep for everything you do.
One thing there isn't a beep for, however, is to tell you when you're driving on a bus lane, as my good friend and owner of this car, Leo, will never let me forget. Maybe you can differently able those alarms, but as it is, they do kind of spoil the mood a little.
I'm going to tell you what doesn't spoil the mood, however. Pressing down on what is known in other cars as the loud pedal.
Put your foot to the floor and this massive 2.5-ton monster just takes off.
And you can do this at any time, at any speed. There seems to be an infinite amount of torque coming from the electric engines. And if you are on the Autobahn, the car will keep accelerating until it reaches 250 kilometers an hour. That's 155 miles per hour for viewers of the Imperial Persuasion.
But those are not scary speeds to drive at.
However fast you're going, the car stays planted. And the computer that you control with this giant touchscreen helps you stay in your lane, maintain distances with other cars, and generally avoid collisions. It will even brake for you if it detects that you're about to have an accident.
And it looks good, doesn't it? It's not easy to make such a big car look aggressive and dignified at the same time, but I think they pulled it off.
And of course, there's the gull-wing doors. How cool are those? Of course, the downside is that if you're sitting in the front, you're still going to have to use regular stupid door like a peasant, or worse, somebody who drives a Peugeot.
Once you get inside, the cabin is very cozy, relaxing place to be.
My personal favorite feature is that you can program each key to a driver. So as you walk towards the car, it unlocks itself and the seats and the steering wheel just adjust themselves to the driver's preferences. Very neat stuff.
I have mentioned range anxiety as one of the reasons why petrolheads seem to be reluctant about electric vehicles. I have mixed feelings about that.
This car is equipped with a 75 kilowatt battery, which on paper is good for about 330 kilometers or 200 miles. That's about half what you would get from an equivalent vehicle with an internal combustion engine like a Porsche Cayenne, for instance. And you do need to find a Tesla fast charging station if you want to recharge the batteries in a convenient amount of time. So depending on where you're going, that could be a problem. On the plus side, any public charging station is almost free, so when you have to add thousands of euros or dollars to the running cost of a conventional car, driving this gigantic SUV is actually very economical.
And of course, there is the fact that many people seem to be doing just fine driving Teslas.
I mean, I've been driving for a few hours now and I've seen maybe 20 other Teslas on the road. So that can't be that much of a problem in the real world.
Alright, now, to the elephant in the room.
The environment.
I argued before that old-timers are, in effect, kinder to the environment compared to brand new electric cars because the total amount of pollution they create to design, build and ship, as well as the emission they create when being driven, is offset by the amount of time they've been on the road.
After all, the longer you own something, the more value you get out of it. I have to be absolutely honest with you though, I have done absolutely zero research on the topic, so right now I am convinced that electric cars are much cleaner than internal combustion vehicles. And you should be ashamed for driving a gas-guzzling old-timer. Shame on you, yes?
So, as I'm getting towards the end of my time with this car, I think the time has come for some semblance of a conclusion. One thing I've noticed while driving all these old-timers is that it is their imperfections that make them lovable. Because it is quirks and imperfections that make people and things interesting. Look at Helena Bonham Carter, for instance.
This car is more like Scarlett Johansson or Michelangelo's David. It feels perfect because, well, it is. It is well built, reliable, intuitive. And I'm not the only one to think so. Tesla sold 500,000 vehicles in 2020, compared to BMW's 2 million for their entire range. And that's not too shabby in my opinion.
In the future, cars might not be as wild or exciting as they've been in the past.
But who would want that anyway? If you want to drive a big muscle car with a huge V8 engine, there are plenty to choose from.
I will always love going to track days and car meets. There's no doubt about that.
But when I do, I would much rather go behind the wheel of one of these.
Because you can enjoy the noise and the fury even more when you know you can go home doing 120 miles an hour in complete silence. What is it now? Is that the... Ah, cock.